In a world of constant noise and expectations, how much of your life is truly your own? It's a question that seems more pressing now than ever, isn't it? We navigate a digital landscape where the curated highlight reels of others constantly flash before us, subtly or not so subtly, dictating what success looks like, what happiness should feel like, and even what our aspirations ought to be. The relentless hum of social media feeds into a broader current of societal pressures that have always existed. Perhaps it's the unspoken desires of our family, the paths laid out by generations before us, or the conventional wisdom of our communities that gently or firmly nudge us in certain directions. We're told who to be, what to achieve, how to present ourselves, often without even realizing we've adopted someone else's script. But what if the greatest battles we face aren't external, against others, or against the world, but internal, a struggle to reclaim our authentic selves from the clamor of external definitions? What if true freedom lies in the unwavering conviction of our own unique path, independent of the crowd? While these feelings of being pulled in 1,000 directions might feel distinctly modern, the search for self-ownership, for an unvarnished authenticity, is a timeless human quest. Long before the internet connected us all, and long before the rise of mass media as we know it, a profound American thinker grappled with this very essence of independent living. In the mid-19th century, at a time of immense social change and expanding horizons, Ralph Waldo Emerson emerged as a powerful voice advocating for what he termed self-reliance. He didn't just offer abstract philosophy, he presented a radical manifesto for living, a challenge to shrug off conformity and to trust your own inner compass above all else. His insights, born from an era vastly different from our own, echo with surprising clarity and urgency in our hyper-connected, often conformist world. Emerson's answer wasn't a formula, but a powerful call to arms, to wage a quiet, yet profound, war for the sovereignty of your own soul. Welcome. Today, we're going on a journey, not just through old pages, but into the mind of a truly revolutionary thinker whose ideas are, I believe, more vital now than ever before. We're going to explore the timeless wisdom of Ralph Waldo Emerson and his seminal collection, *Essays*. You might hear classic literature and picture dusty tomes, perhaps something you had to endure in high school. But Emerson? He's different. He's not a dry academic exercise, he's a philosophical adventure guide, a challenging friend, and, for me, a deeply personal mentor whose words became a compass when I felt utterly lost. Who was this man? Ralph Waldo Emerson was a titan of 19th-century American thought. Born in 1803, a minister turned essayist, poet, and lecturer, he stood at the forefront of the transcendentalist movement. Imagine a world on the cusp of industrial revolution, grappling with new scientific discoveries, shifting social structures. Emerson was there, not just observing, but actively shaping the intellectual landscape. He was a voice for radical individualism, for trusting one's own intuition above societal dogma, for finding divine inspiration not in external institutions, but within the self and in the embrace of nature. He challenged convention, urging us to think for ourselves, to live authentically, to find our own truth. Now, why does a philosopher from nearly 2 centuries ago matter to us here in our hyper-connected, often overwhelming digital age? Because Emerson's core messages are the perfect antidote to so many modern maladies. We live in a world of constant external validation, where comparison is the thief of joy, where information overload numbs our senses, and where the pressure to conform, to fit in, is insidious. Emerson, long before social media, preached self-reliance, self-trust, and the profound power of looking inward. He advocated for unplugging, not from Wi-Fi, but from the incessant demands of others, to listen to that inner voice, to cultivate our unique genius. His essays are a bracing splash of cold water, reminding us to wake up, to engage with life on our own terms, and to define success from within. I first truly encountered Emerson during a period of intense personal uncertainty. I was drifting, unsure of my path, feeling the weight of societal expectations pressing down. I'd always found classics intimidating, but something drew me to essays, and what I found wasn't just beautiful prose, but practical, actionable wisdom. His words cut through the noise, offering clarity and a surprising sense of empowerment. He didn't tell me what to think, but how to think for myself. He gave me permission to trust my gut, to question the status quo, and to understand that our true strength comes from within. It was like finding a secret language for my own nascent beliefs, a validation that the answers I sought weren't out there, but deep inside. He quite literally became a compass, guiding me to rediscover my own internal North Star. So, in the coming discussions, we're going to embark on a journey through Emerson's most powerful and transformative ideas. We'll delve into the profound depths of self-reliance, explore his insights on nature, grapple with the concept of the oversoul, and uncover his calls for intellectual independence and moral courage. This isn't just about understanding historical texts. It's about equipping ourselves with tools for navigating the complexities of modern existence, drawing strength from a voice that has resonated for generations. And before we delve into the intricate dance of strategy, the fog of war, and the profound observations of Carl von Clausewitz, we must first establish a foundation, not of military tactics, but of human nature itself. For even the greatest general, the most brilliant strategist, is ultimately an individual, and their success, their very leadership, hinges upon a singular, often revolutionary idea: the courage to be oneself. This isn't just a feel-good platitude, it is, as we shall see, the bedrock of true self-reliance and the wellspring of decisive action. In an era that often encourages looking outwards for answers, for validation, for direction, the notion of trusting your own intuition above all else feels almost radical. Yet, centuries ago, the American essayist Ralph Waldo Emerson penned a line that resonates with startling clarity even today: "Trust thyself, every heart vibrates to that iron string." What does this mean? This powerful image of an iron string? It speaks to the undeniable, inherent truth that lies deep within each of us. It is our inner compass, that primal sense of what is right, what is necessary, what is true for us. To trust this inner vibration, this intuitive pull, is not merely an act of introspection, it is an act of profound courage. It means having the fortitude to listen to that singular, often quiet voice amidst the clamor of external expectations, expert opinions, and popular consensus. In a world awash with information and external pressures, cultivating and heeding this inner wisdom is arguably the most vital strategic asset any individual, any leader, can possess. But self-reliance isn't about stubbornness or blind adherence to an initial stance. Emerson also warned against what he called foolish consistency. He wrote, "A foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds, adored by little statesmen and philosophers and divines." This is a powerful admonition against rigid thinking, against clinging to beliefs or plans simply because they were once your beliefs or plans. True self-reliance isn't about never changing your mind. It's about having the courage to change it when new information, new experiences, or deeper reflection reveal a better path. It is the freedom to evolve, to adapt, to pivot without the crippling fear of appearing inconsistent or weak. A leader who cannot adapt, who cannot admit a past error and forge a new direction, is ultimately destined for failure. This flexibility, this intellectual agility, stems directly from an internal locus of control, from trusting your own present intuition over the ghost of your past self. This courage to trust oneself naturally leads to the embrace of nonconformity and individuality. To vibrate to your own iron string is, by definition, to potentially vibrate differently from those around you. It means having the audacity to think independently, to forge your own path, and to stand firm on your convictions, even when they diverge from the mainstream. This isn't about being contrarian for the sake of it, but about authentic expression and action. The truly self-reliant individual brings an original perspective, an unfiltered insight to any situation, whether it's navigating complex personal choices or formulating grand strategy. In a world that often seeks to homogenize thought and behavior, the power of an original mind, rooted in its own truth, becomes an invaluable engine for innovation and progress. These timeless principles find urgent relevance in our modern world, where the very act of being oneself is constantly tested. Consider imposter syndrome, that pervasive internal struggle where, despite evidence of capability and success, one doubts their own achievements and intuitive insights. It's precisely at these moments that trusting that iron string becomes an essential antidote, a grounding force against self-doubt. Similarly, the relentless tide of peer pressure, amplified by social media and pervasive corporate cultures, often pushes us towards conformity, towards adopting consensus thinking rather than independent judgment. The courage to be yourself, to filter out the noise and listen to your inner voice, is more critical than ever. It's the courage to say no when everyone else says yes, to pursue an unconventional path, or to simply believe in your own capacity to navigate uncertainty. Ultimately, self-reliance, the courage to be yourself, is not a selfish endeavor. It is the fundamental prerequisite for effective action, for authentic leadership, and for living a life aligned with your deepest values. Before one can hope to understand the complexities of war, or leadership, or any grand human endeavor, one must first master the art of commanding oneself, grounded in the unwavering trust of that unique, powerful vibration within your own heart. This inner strength, this profound self-belief, is where all true strategy begins. Welcome back. In our journey through profound ideas, we now arrive at Chapter 2, We Are All Connected, the Oversoul. This isn't about doctrines or dogmas, but a profoundly spiritual, yet entirely accessible, concept that invites us to reconsider our place in the universe. It's an exploration of unity, empathy, and the invisible threads that bind us all. So, what exactly is the Oversoul? Imagine it not as a deity or a mystical entity, but as a vast, universal consciousness, a kind of cosmic internet, if you will, where every single living being, every thought, every experience is a connected node. It's the grand, underlying energetic tapestry that weaves through everything. Picture a global network, but instead of data packets, it's made of awareness, emotion, and life force. We are all individual computers running our unique programs, yet constantly connected to this boundless, universal server, sharing and drawing from its immense pool of information and essence. It's the shared substratum of existence beyond individual ego and identity. One of the most powerful implications of this idea is its capacity to dissolve the gnawing feelings of isolation and loneliness that so many of us experience. In a world that often emphasizes our separateness, the Oversoul reminds us that this perceived isolation is an illusion. When we genuinely grasp that we are not just separate entities, but integral components of a larger, interconnected whole, the sense of being alone begins to fade. It's like realizing you're not just a single drop of water, but an essential part of the vast, boundless ocean. Every interaction, every shared moment, every quiet contemplation becomes a reconnection to this immense collective consciousness. It fosters a deep sense of belonging, an understanding that even in our solitude, we are inextricably linked to everything and everyone. This universal connection also sheds new light on the phenomenon of intuition. Have you ever had a sudden, inexplicable knowing, a gut feeling that steered you in a certain direction, or a flash of insight that seemed to come from nowhere? The Oversoul concept suggests that our individual intuition isn't merely a product of our subconscious mind synthesizing past experiences. Instead, it might be a direct download, a momentary access point to this universal consciousness. It's like tapping into the cosmic internet for a specific piece of information or guidance, bypassing the usual logical pathways of thought. This deep, internal knowing could be the Oversoul whispering to us, offering wisdom and perspectives that transcend our individual, limited understanding, guiding us towards greater harmony and truth. Furthermore, consider those sublime moments of flow where time seems to disappear, where you are completely absorbed in an activity, whether it's creating art, solving a complex problem, or even simply lost in the beauty of nature. Or perhaps moments of profound meditation, or an incredibly deep connection with another person where words become unnecessary. These aren't just states of heightened concentration, they are, arguably, direct glimpses, brief windows into the Oversoul itself. In these moments, the boundaries of the individual ego soften, and we experience a profound sense of unity, purpose, and effortless being. We become less of I and more of we, merging with the creative flow of the universe. It's a feeling of being perfectly aligned, in sync with something far greater than ourselves, experiencing the very pulse of interconnected existence. Embracing the idea of the Oversoul isn't about adopting a new belief system, it's about shifting our perception. It's an invitation to cultivate empathy, to recognize the shared spark of life in every being, and to understand that the well-being of one is intrinsically linked to the well-being of all. When we see ourselves as part of this grand, cosmic network, our capacity for compassion expands, and we begin to act from a place of deeper understanding and unity. It reminds us that at our core, we are all connected, we are all reflections of the same universal consciousness, and in that profound connection lies our greatest strength and our truest sense of belonging. As we delve deeper into understanding the intricate fabric of existence, let us consider a perspective offered by one of America's most profound thinkers, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and his radical vision of nature. For Emerson, nature was far more than mere scenery or a collection of resources. It was a boundless source of spiritual renewal, a profound teacher of wisdom, and a direct, unmediated connection to the divine itself. Crucially, this sacred connection wasn't reserved for mystics or scholars. It was universally accessible, freely available to everyone willing to open their hearts and minds. Emerson articulated this transformative experience through his famous concept of the transparent eyeball. Imagine shedding your ego, your self-consciousness, your individual identity, until you become nothing but a receptive organ of perception. You are no longer merely looking asterisk at asterisk nature, but seeing asterisk through asterisk it, becoming one with the landscape around you. The trees, the sky, the earth, the very air you breathe, they flow through you, and you become a part of their boundless energy. In this state, the observer and the observed merge, and you perceive everything with startling clarity, experiencing a profound unity with the cosmos. It's an immersion that dissolves the boundaries of self, leading to an epiphany of interconnectedness. Furthermore, Emerson believed that nature serves as a grand mirror, reflecting the universal laws that govern not only the physical world, but also human morality and conduct. The cyclical patterns of growth, decay, and renewal, the intricate balance of ecosystems, the inherent order within apparent chaos, these were all manifestations of eternal truths. By observing the steadfastness of a mountain, the flow of a river, or the resilience of a wildflower, we could glean lessons about integrity, perseverance, harmony, and the underlying moral structure of the universe. Nature, in this sense, becomes a silent yet eloquent preacher, guiding us towards ethical living and a deeper understanding of our place within the grand design. However, Emerson's vision stands in stark contrast to much of modern society's relationship with the natural world. Our contemporary lives are often characterized by a profound detachment, a disengagement born from urban environments, technological immersion, and a relentless focus on material gain. We consume nature as a spectacle or a commodity, rather than revering it as a sacred text or a spiritual partner. This detachment comes at a cost, leaving many feeling dislocated, spiritually impoverished, and disconnected from the very source of renewal that Emerson championed. We've largely forgotten how to be asterisk with nature, preferring instead to merely pass through it. So, how can we reclaim an Emersonian experience of nature, even amidst the concrete and clamor of a city? The key lies not in finding pristine wilderness, but in cultivating a particular mindset. Start small, seek out a city park, a community garden, a single tree pushing through the pavement, or even the clouds drifting above skyscrapers. The actionable tip is mindful immersion. Don't just walk past, pause, allow yourself to truly see that leaf, notice the subtle shift in the wind, hear the birdsong amidst traffic. Let your gaze linger, your mind quiet. Feel the texture of a tree's bark, observe the tenacity of a weed. Look for the patterns, the miniature ecosystems, the resilience of life in unexpected places. By consciously engaging with these small fragments of nature, by stripping away our preconceptions and opening ourselves to pure perception, we too can begin to dissolve the boundaries of self, connect with universal truths, and rediscover the profound spiritual renewal that Emerson found in every natural encounter. It's about presence, reverence, and allowing the soul to breathe in the presence of the infinite, no matter how constrained the immediate environment may appear. Having navigated the intricate strategies of conflict and power, let us now turn our attention to a different kind of human dynamic, one that, at its best, represents the highest form of alliance and mutual growth, friendship. For this exploration, we turn to the profound insights of Ralph Waldo Emerson, who, in his essay Friendship, laid out a vision far grander than mere companionship, a vision deeply rooted in truth, respect, and mutual evolution. Emerson invites us to look beyond the superficial definitions of social connection and to distinguish sharply between acquaintances and true friends. Acquaintances, he suggests, are those with whom we share agreeable moments, pleasantries, and perhaps common interests. They are the individuals who fill our social calendars, offer convenience, or provide a comforting presence. But a true friend, in Emerson's profound estimation, is something far rarer and infinitely more valuable. A true friend is one who unlocks a deeper part of ourselves, challenging us not just to be better, but to become more authentically who we are. They are not simply companions, they are catalysts for our spiritual and intellectual growth, partners in an ongoing journey of self-discovery. This distinction is crucial, for it elevates friendship from a transactional exchange to a transformative force. Perhaps one of Emerson's most counterintuitive yet vital insights is the absolute necessity of solitude as a prerequisite for genuine friendship. It might seem paradoxical. How can isolation foster connection? Yet, Emerson argues that we must first be whole in ourselves, complete and self-reliant, before we can truly offer ourselves to another. Friendship, he believed, is not about two incomplete halves seeking to merge into one, but about two distinct, fully formed individuals coming together to enrich each other's already vibrant existence. Solitude, therefore, is not a void to be filled by others, but a sacred space for self-cultivation. It is where we develop our unique thoughts, solidify our values, and strengthen our character. Only from this position of internal strength and self-possession can we engage in a friendship that is truly free, authentic, and mutually empowering, rather than dependent or needy. At the heart of Emersonian friendship lies an unwavering commitment to both truth and tenderness. Truth, in this context, is not merely honesty in communication, but a radical transparency of spirit. A true friend, Emerson asserts, holds up a mirror to our souls, reflecting not just our virtues, but also our flaws and inconsistencies. They are willing to speak hard truths, to challenge our preconceptions, and to confront us with uncomfortable realities, all without judgment. This kind of truth-telling is an act of profound love, for it stems from a genuine desire for the other's highest good. However, this truth must always be accompanied by tenderness. It is a truth delivered with compassion, empathy, and an understanding of the other's humanity. It is the unwavering belief in the friend's potential, even when pointing out their present shortcomings. Without tenderness, truth can wound. Without truth, tenderness can become mere sentimentality, failing to serve the friend's growth. The balance between these two qualities defines the integrity and depth of the bond. Emerson's visions sets an incredibly high bar for friendship, one that challenges us to reconsider the nature of our own most cherished relationships. It calls us to move beyond superficial connections, beyond mere convenience or shared amusement, and to seek out those rare individuals who genuinely nourish our spirit and push us towards our highest self. So, I invite you now to reflect. When you look at your circle of friends, are you seeing mere acquaintances or true Emersonian companions? Are your friendships built on a foundation of radical truth and tender respect? Do they inspire mutual growth and self-reliance, or do they merely offer comfort and distraction? This is not a judgment, but an invitation to evaluate the depth and authenticity of your own connections, and perhaps to cultivate relationships that truly embody the profound and transformative power of real friendship. Welcome back to our exploration of Clausewitz's On War, and as we delve into Chapter 5, we encounter a profound concept that transcends the battlefield and touches upon the very fabric of existence. The universe keeps score, or what we might term the law of compensation. Imagine, if you will, a cosmic ledger meticulously maintained, where every action, every decision, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, is recorded. This isn't just a metaphor, it's a fundamental principle Clausewitz alludes to, echoing ancient wisdom that for every exertion, there is a counter-exertion, and for every shift, a necessary rebalancing. We can frame this as a natural law of karma, not in a mystical sense, but as an inherent property of reality itself. At its heart, the law of compensation posits that the universe possesses an innate, immutable balance. For every gain, there is by necessity a corresponding loss, and conversely, every loss, when viewed through a wider lens, can pave the way for a future gain. This isn't about quid pro quo in a simplistic, immediate sense, but rather a deep, interconnected web of cause and effect. You cannot create something from nothing, nor can you destroy something without transforming it into something else. Energy shifts, resources reallocate, and the scales, though they may tip wildly for a moment, always seek equilibrium. Consider how this principle permeates our understanding of justice and morality. When an injustice occurs, when an imbalance is created by an act of profound harm, the universe, in its own intricate way, begins the process of rectification. This doesn't mean immediate retribution, nor does it guarantee a simple eye for an eye scenario. Instead, it suggests that the ripples of that action will inevitably lead to consequences. Perhaps not for the perpetrator directly, but within the broader system, society, or even across generations. A moral failing often carries an unseen cost, impacting trust, relationships, and the very fabric of community. Similarly, acts of profound kindness or integrity, while not always immediately rewarded, build a foundation of positive energy that eventually manifests in unexpected ways, bolstering one's character and standing. This law of compensation is particularly evident in our personal growth journeys. Take, for instance, the monumental effort of learning, the countless hours spent studying, the sacrifices made in leisure time, the frustration of grappling with complex ideas. These are all losses in the immediate sense. Yet, they are precisely what bring about the profound reward of knowledge, understanding, and personal mastery. The discomfort of growth is the necessary price for intellectual and emotional expansion. You compensate for your current state by expending effort, and the universe compensates you with advancement. Similarly, overcoming a personal weakness requires a deliberate loss of comfort and familiar habits, but this loss is directly compensated by newfound strength and resilience. Now, it's easy to grasp this concept intellectually, but far more challenging to truly internalize when faced with glaring apparent injustice. When we witness suffering that seems unmerited, or privilege that appears undeserved, it's tempting to dismiss the idea of a cosmic balance. Where is the compensation? We might ask, and it's here that we must remember the vastness of the universe's scorekeeping. The balance may not manifest in the immediate moment, or within the confines of a single lifetime, or even within a single system. It might play out across generations, or in the subtle shifts of power dynamics, or in the long-term consequences that ripple through societies. It doesn't promise a simple, comforting accounting for every individual grievance, but rather posits an underlying principle that prevents infinite deviation from a natural state of equilibrium. The universe, in its grand design, always strives for balance, and though its methods are often complex and its timing enigmatic, the ledger is indeed always kept. Welcome to Chapter 6, Your Life as a Work of Art. Often, when we hear the word art, our minds conjure images of hushed galleries, ancient sculptures, or masterpieces behind velvet ropes. We associate it with something grand, untouchable, created by a gifted few. But what if art wasn't confined to museums? What if it was something far more fundamental, an inherent part of human existence, and indeed, a profound source of meaning in our lives? What if you had the potential to be an artist, not just of a canvas or a symphony, but of your very own life? The transcendentalist philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson certainly believed so. For Emerson, art wasn't separate from life, it was deeply, intrinsically intertwined with our daily existence and the natural world around us. He saw art not as an exclusive product for aesthetic consumption, but as a living, breathing expression of truth and beauty that permeated everything. A carefully tended garden, a well-crafted tool, a thoughtfully structured conversation, even the simple act of living with intention and grace, these were all forms of art in Emerson's view. Art, in this sense, is about bringing order, beauty, and meaning into the mundane, making the invisible visible, and elevating the ordinary through conscious effort and an appreciative eye. It's about finding the divine spark in the everyday. This expanded understanding of art naturally redefines the artist. If art is everywhere, then the artist isn't merely someone with a specific skill set in painting or sculpting. Rather, the artist serves as a conduit, a channel through which universal truths, beauty, and deeper insights manifest in tangible form. They don't invent these truths, they perceive them, interpret them, and give them a voice or shape that resonates with others. Think of the scientist who uncovers a fundamental law of the universe, the engineer who designs an elegant, efficient solution to a complex problem, or the storyteller who weaves a narrative that captures the human spirit. Each of these individuals acts as an artist, bringing something essential and universally true into existence through their unique perspective and craft. They make the abstract concrete, illuminating the world for all to see. Now, let's bring this idea directly to your doorstep. What if you were to approach your own work, your relationships, your personal growth, and indeed, your entire life as a creative act? Every decision you make, every interaction you engage in, every project you undertake is an opportunity to sculpt, to paint, to compose. Your career isn't just a job, it's a canvas where you apply your unique talents and vision. Your relationships aren't just passive connections, they are dynamic sculptures shaped by empathy, communication, and shared experience. Your personal development isn't merely self-improvement, it's the ongoing refinement of a living, breathing masterpiece, yourself. This isn't about achieving perfection, but about embracing the process of creation with intentionality, purpose, and the courage to express your authentic self. You are actively shaping your reality, becoming the architect of your own destiny, moment by moment. In our modern era, this perspective resonates more powerfully than ever, especially with the rise of what we call the creator economy. Millions around the world are now building livelihoods and communities not through traditional employment, but by expressing their unique passions, skills, and perspectives. From YouTubers and podcasters to independent artists, writers, and digital entrepreneurs, People are finding profound value, both personal and economic, in the act of self-expression. The creator economy is a living testament to the idea that authenticity, individuality, and the courage to bring your unique vision to the world are not just admirable traits, but valuable currencies. It validates the artist within us all, encouraging us to see our work not just as tasks, but as contributions, as distinct imprints we leave on the world. It proves that there is immense meaning, not just in consuming, but in producing, in asterisk, creating asterisk. So, I invite you to step into this perspective. You are not just living a life, you are crafting it. You are not just a participant, you are the primary artist. Embrace the potential within you to infuse every aspect of your existence with creativity, purpose, and your own unique vision, because ultimately, your life is your greatest work of art. In our journey through Clausewitz, we often find ourselves grappling with the profound complexities of war, strategy, and human nature. But how do we truly think about such matters? How do we cultivate the kind of mind capable of navigating these intricate landscapes? For an answer, we turn not directly to military theory, but to a powerful vision articulated nearly 2 centuries ago by Ralph Waldo Emerson in his seminal address, The American Scholar. Emerson's call was for a new kind of intellectual independent of European thought, rooted in American experience. But today, his vision transcends national boundaries and academic institutions. For us, in the context of understanding Clausewitz and the broader challenges of the 21st century, we must modernize the concept of the scholar. No longer confined to the ivory tower, the true scholar is anyone who embraces a life of continuous learning, critical inquiry, and independent thought. They are the curious, engaged citizens, leaders, and strategists in every field, relentless in their pursuit of understanding, whether on the battlefield, in the boardroom, or in daily life. This is the mindset Clausewitz implicitly demands from his readers, not mere memorization, but genuine comprehension. Emerson identified 3 profound influences that shape this modern scholar, 3 wellsprings from which true wisdom flows. The first is citrisk nature, a term we can interpret broadly as direct experience and the raw material of reality. For the strategic thinker, this means observing the world firsthand, engaging with primary sources, understanding people and cultures not through filters, but through direct interaction. It's the general walking the terrain, the diplomat engaging with foreign leaders, the analyst studying current events without preconceived notions. It is the practice of seeing things as they are not as we wish them to be, learning from the inherent truths of the world around us. This is where original thought is born, challenging existing frameworks. The second influence is the stressed mind of the past, embodied in Ask books. This refers to the accumulated wisdom, history, and insights of those who came before us. For Clausewitz, this would be the study of military history, the campaigns of great commanders, the philosophical underpinnings of statesmanship. For us, it extends to all forms of accumulated knowledge, scientific papers, philosophical treatises, artistic expressions, and yes, even on war itself. Books provide us with context, with patterns, with the intellectual tools developed over centuries. They save us from the hubris of believing we must invent everything anew. They allow us to stand on the shoulders of giants, understanding the triumphs and failures that illuminate the human condition and the enduring principles of conflict. But simply observing and reading is not enough. The third, and perhaps most crucial, influence is actions. This is where knowledge is tested, theories are applied, and character is forged. For the military leader, it's commanding troops in the field. For the diplomat, it's negotiating a treaty. For any strategic thinker, it's making decisions under pressure and observing their consequences. Action grounds our learning in reality, forcing us to confront the friction, the uncertainties, and the unexpected challenges that theory alone cannot capture. Without action, the scholar risks becoming what Emerson warned against: a mere thinker, a pale invalid detached from life, whose ideas, however brilliant, lack the vital spark of lived experience. Clausewitz's deep respect for practical experience echoes this sentiment. Theory must serve practice, not dominate it. The danger, then, is clear: to become a brain without a body, a mind disconnected from the gritty realities of human endeavor. The armchair theorist, the pundit who never risks anything, the leader who only reads reports but never engages with their people or the front lines, these are the pale invalids. Their intellectual edifice, however elaborate, will crumble under the weight of real-world complexity, much like a military plan that looks perfect on paper but fails spectacularly in the face of the enemy. True understanding, the kind Clausewitz exemplifies, arises from the dynamic interplay between contemplation and engagement, between reflection and execution. Finally, Emerson reminds us of the scholar's profound duty to share wisdom. The insights gained through nature, books, and action are not meant to be hoarded. The modern scholar, the independent thinker, has a responsibility to articulate their understanding, to inspire others, and to guide society toward greater clarity and truth. This doesn't mean imposing dogma, but rather provoking thought, challenging assumptions, and offering new perspectives. It's about empowering others to become scholars themselves, to question, to learn, and to act with greater purpose and intelligence. In a world saturated with information but starved for wisdom, this duty is more vital than ever. The true legacy of the scholar lies not just in what they know, but in how they empower others to think, to lead, and to navigate the complexities of their own worlds, much as Clausewitz himself, through his work, continues to inspire generations to think more deeply about war, politics, and humanity. Welcome to Chapter 8, No Endings, Only New Beginnings, The Circles. In our exploration of On War and the broader landscape of human endeavor, we often seek definitive conclusions, clear victories, and absolute endpoints. Yet life, much like war itself, rarely offers such neat resolutions. Instead, it presents a continuous flow, a perpetual unfolding, best understood not as a straight line, but as an ever-expanding series of circles. Consider the profound metaphor: the eye is the first circle, the horizon which it forms is the second. This elegant observation, often attributed to the transcendentalists, offers a powerful lens to view our growth, our potential, and the very nature of existence. Your eye, in this context, is your current self, your immediate perception, the sum of your knowledge, beliefs, and experiences. It is the core of your being, the point from which you observe the world. The horizon it forms, then, is the boundary of your current understanding, the limit of what you can see, conceive, or achieve. It represents your aspirations, challenges the edge of your comfort zone, the furthest reach of your current ambition. Crucially, this horizon is not fixed. It is dynamic, always moving as you move, expanding as you grow. As you take a step forward, the horizon recedes, revealing new vistas, new possibilities that were previously beyond your sight. This is where the true beauty of the circular metaphor comes into play. Every ending, every culmination, every perceived limit is not an ultimate cessation. It is simply the closure of one circle, which immediately becomes the new center for a larger, more expansive circle yet to be drawn. Think of it this way: what we perceive as an ending, be it a project's conclusion, a relationship's end, or overcoming a personal struggle, is merely the point where our consciousness completes one cycle of learning and experience. That completed cycle doesn't vanish, it doesn't cease to exist. Instead, it becomes foundational. It becomes the new I, the new center from which we perceive a broader horizon, inviting us to embark on the next phase of our journey. This perspective radically transforms how we approach common life experiences. Take, for instance, the sting of failure. Failure often feels like a brick wall, an abrupt halt to progress. But through the lens of circles, failure isn't an ending. It's the completion of a smaller, less successful circle of attempt. From the experience within that circle, you gain new insight, data, a more refined understanding of the variables at play. This hardened wisdom then becomes your new center, allowing you to draw a wider circle, incorporating lessons learned, making your next attempt more informed, more resilient. Failure isn't erased, it's encompassed, integrated, a vital part of the larger, evolving self. Similarly, consider the process of leaving old beliefs behind. We all hold convictions that at one point felt absolute and defining. As we grow, encountering new information and perspectives, some old beliefs may no longer serve us or prove entirely unfounded. This isn't a betrayal of our past selves, it's a natural expansion. The old belief isn't discarded, rather, it becomes the internal, smaller circle, now surrounded by a more comprehensive understanding. We don't lose our past, we integrate it into a richer, nuanced present. The circle of our understanding widens to accommodate new truths, drawing a horizon that extends further than we could have previously imagined. Embracing change, then, is less about letting go and more about the active process of drawing these new, wider circles. Change is the universe's inherent mechanism for growth, a constant invitation to redraw our horizons, redefine our limits, expand our perception. It's the fluid, dynamic essence of potential manifesting itself. Ultimately, life is this magnificent journey of continuously drawing new, wider circles around our past selves. Each experience, lesson, challenge overcome, new person we meet, paradigm shift, these are not isolated events. They are the strokes that expand our personal sphere, pushing boundaries outwards, ensuring we are always moving, always growing, always becoming more. We are never truly finished. There are no ultimate endings, only the beautiful, endless process of new beginnings, each encompassing and enriching all that came before. The circle expands, and with it, so do we, forever discovering new horizons from the ever-widening core of our evolving being. It's tempting, isn't it, to imagine life unfolding according to a perfect blueprint. We envision grand strategies, logical progressions, and a clear path from aspiration to achievement. Much like the early theorists of war who sought to reduce it to a pure science, we often begin our journey armed with abstract ideals, expecting the world to conform to our meticulously crafted theories. But, as Clausewitz so profoundly illustrates with his concepts of fog, friction, and chance, war in reality is a far messier, more unpredictable affair than its theoretical counterpart. And so, too, is life. This collision between our pristine ideals and the stubborn, often chaotic reality is where disillusionment frequently sets in. We encounter setbacks, make mistakes, face unexpected obstacles, and find ourselves grappling with emotions and irrationalities that simply weren't accounted for in our neat equations. The gap between what we hoped for and what actually transpires can lead to frustration, disappointment, and a nagging sense of inadequacy. We feel imperfect because life itself refuses to be perfect. Yet, it is precisely in this recognition of life's inherent untidiness that a profound wisdom emerges, a wisdom articulated so powerfully by Ralph Waldo Emerson in his mature reflections. Emerson, initially a fervent transcendentalist, came to value what he termed the low, practical power of experience over abstract, idealized notions. He understood that while ideals provide direction, it is experience with all its bumps, bruises, and outright failures that truly educates us. Pure thought, untempered by the world's harsh feedback, risks becoming sterile and detached. Experience is not simply the accumulation of facts, it is the crucible in which our understanding is forged. It's the lesson learned from a misguided decision, the humility gained from a public failure, the resilience built through overcoming adversity. It teaches us about the nature of compromise, the limits of control, and the surprising tenacity of the human spirit. This practical wisdom, born from engagement with the world rather than detachment from it, equips us far better for the ongoing struggle than any flawless theory ever could. It allows us to adapt, to pivot, and to find solutions not just in grand designs, but in the minute adjustments of daily living. Crucially, Emerson also champions the importance of temperament and embracing our own unique path. Just as a commander must understand the specific capabilities and morale of his troops, we must come to know our own intrinsic character. We are not all built for the same battles, nor do we possess the same strengths and weaknesses. To ignore our temperament, our natural inclinations, our inherent rhythms, is to fight against ourselves, to constantly strive for an ideal that simply doesn't align with who we are. True self-reliance isn't about rigid conformity to an external standard of perfection. It's about discerning and cultivating our own particular genius, finding our own most effective way of being and acting in the world. It means accepting that our journey will be uniquely our own, with its own particular set of challenges and triumphs, distinct from anyone else's. There is no single, universal path to perfect living, because there are no universal perfect beings. And so, we arrive at a vital conclusion: the true meaning of life is not found in the elusive attainment of a perfect theory, a flawless existence, or a state utterly devoid of struggle. Rather, it is found in the living of it. It's in the continuous, often messy, sometimes painful, but ultimately enriching process of engaging with reality. It's in the lessons learned from our imperfections, the growth spurred by our disappointments, and the strength forged in the face of our limitations. Just as Clausewitz reveals that the true nature of war lies in its dynamic, unpredictable interplay, the true meaning of life emerges from our active, imperfect, and persistent participation in it. There is profound wisdom in embracing this journey, knowing that the detours and the unexpected turns are not deviations from the path, but the very essence of the path itself. Our imperfections, then, are not failures to be hidden, but invaluable teachers, guiding us towards a richer, more authentic understanding of ourselves and the world. As we reach our final chapter, it's fitting to pause and reflect on a figure whose ideas, though distinct from the strategic analyses of Clausewitz, offer a profound counterpoint and complement to understanding human endeavor. We've spent considerable time examining the grand scale of conflict and the intricate machinery of war. Now, let us turn our gaze inward to the philosophical legacy of Ralph Waldo Emerson, a thinker who championed a different kind of power, a different kind of battle, the battle for self. Emerson's overarching message, woven through the rich tapestry of his essays and lectures, is ultimately a celebration of the individual. He declared the divinity and inherent power of each human soul, urging us to live an examined, authentic life, guided not by external dogma or societal pressures, but by the quiet authority of our own intuition and conscience. Consider his essay Self-Reliance, perhaps his most famous. Here Emerson implores us to trust ourselves, to reject conformity, and to embrace our unique genius. This isn't an argument for isolation, but for integrity, for the courage to follow our own path, even when it diverges from the crowd. It is about understanding that true strength springs from within. His meditations on nature further underscore this idea. For Emerson, nature was not merely a backdrop for human activity, but a living, breathing teacher, a mirror reflecting the divine spark within each of us. By communing with the natural world, we could strip away the artifice of society and reconnect with fundamental truths, thereby recognizing our own inherent spirituality and the interconnectedness of all existence. Themes like the American scholar and the concept of the oversoul reinforce this vision, suggesting that every individual has access to universal truths, to a vast collective consciousness. The task, then, is to awaken to this potential, to cultivate our minds, and to become fully realized beings who contribute to the grander scheme not by imitation, but by original thought and genuine expression. Emerson's impact on literature, philosophy, and American culture is immeasurable. He was the intellectual architect of transcendentalism, challenging prevailing religious and social norms, and laying the groundwork for a distinctly American literary voice. His ideas inspired generations of writers like Walt Whitman and Henry David Thoreau, encouraging a literature rooted in individual experience and the American landscape. Philosophically, he championed an individualism that profoundly influenced later movements, from pragmatism to existentialism. Culturally, his emphasis on self-improvement, non-conformity, and democratic ideals continues to resonate, shaping the very fabric of American identity and its enduring belief in the power of the individual. To encapsulate his spirit, I offer this powerful thought, often attributed to Emerson, which perfectly distills his enduring message: to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. This isn't merely a poetic sentiment, it's a call to action. While Clausewitz dissects the strategies of nations and the brutal calculus of conflict, Emerson invites us to wage a different kind of war, a war against our own complacency, against the forces that seek to diminish our unique spirit. His philosophy is a powerful reminder that our most significant battles are often fought within, and our greatest victories are achieved when we live authentically, aligning our actions with our deepest convictions. Applying Emerson's wisdom means actively seeking self-knowledge, cultivating our unique gifts, and having the courage to express them fully in the world, recognizing that true power resides not in external conquest, but in internal mastery and genuine self-realization. These are the principles that empower us to navigate any challenge, be it personal or societal, with integrity and strength. All right, you've absorbed Emerson's wisdom, seen how his insights illuminate Clausewitz's strategies and your own life's battles. But philosophy is for action. Here's your 7-day Emerson action plan, designed to translate these powerful ideas into daily habits. Think of it as a week-long journey to cultivate a more self-aware, authentic, and powerful you. Starting now, we begin with Emerson's bedrock self-reliance. For day 1 and day 2, your task is twofold, centered on your inner voice. First, dedicate 15 minutes daily to unfiltered journaling. No grammar worries, no self-editing. Just let thoughts spill onto the page. Your worries, ideas, desires, the quiet whispers you usually dismiss. The goal isn't problem-solving, but observing your mind's raw landscape, free from external judgment. This acknowledges your unique mental ecosystem. Second, for each day, make one small, inconsequential decision purely on intuition. Choose a different route, pick an unusual ingredient, read a book you'd normally ignore. The decision's size doesn't matter. It's the deliberate act of overriding logic and trusting that immediate gut feeling. Emerson urged us to trust thyself, and these are your first steps to rebuilding that vital connection with your inherent wisdom. Practice listening to your deepest self, unburdened by the crowd. Next, for days 3 and 4, embrace Emerson's connection to nature and his circles. First, carve out 20 minutes to simply be in nature, phone-free. Find a park, a backyard, a quiet street, anywhere you can experience the natural world without digital distractions. Don't listen to music, don't take photos. Just observe the rustle of leaves, the sun's warmth, a spiderweb's intricate patterns. Let your mind wander. Emerson saw nature as a direct conduit to truth. Be present in its quiet grandeur. Second, reflect on Emerson's circles, which speaks to our continuous capacity for growth. Identify one circle, a limiting belief, a stagnant routine, an outdated assumption that you are ready to move beyond. Perhaps I'm not good at public speaking, or I always choose the safe option. Acknowledge its hold and consciously decide it no longer serves you. This isn't instant change, but the powerful act of recognition and intention to transcend. Realize life is a series of expanding horizons. You draw a new, larger circle. For days 5 and 6, we focus on Emersonian themes, friendship, and compensation. First, commit to a truly honest conversation with a friend. Beyond superficial chatter, express a vulnerability, share a deeper thought, or offer sincere feedback, always with kindness. Emerson believed in genuine human connection, where friends hold up a mirror to our best selves. This is about authenticity, strengthening bonds through courageous openness. Let a friend truly see you and make an effort to truly see them. Second, for compensation, perform a good deed with absolutely no expectation of reward or thank you. Hold a door for a stranger, let someone go ahead, offer a genuine compliment, or quietly help someone. Don't announce it, don't seek praise. Emerson's compensation wasn't quid pro quo. It was about the inherent spiritual law that every action carries its own natural consequence. The reward is simply the act of giving, untainted by ego. Align with that universal flow. Generosity is its own abundant return. Finally, day 7 is dedicated to the joy and wisdom of experience itself. Try something new, something you're almost certain you won't be good at, focusing entirely on the process, not the outcome. Maybe it's a new dance step, trying to draw a portrait, learning a few phrases in a new language, or baking an elaborate cake. The point isn't mastery or a respectable result. It's to embrace awkwardness, the learning curve, the sheer act of engaging with something unfamiliar. Emerson emphasized living fully, being present, and learning from every encounter. This exercise strips away performance pressure and lets you simply exist within the newness, feel your capabilities stretch, and find inherent value in the journey, regardless of where it leads. It's a celebration of curiosity, resilience, and endless potential within each of us. And there you have it, a week to embody Ralph Waldo Emerson. Don't worry about perfection, just engage with the process. At the end of these 7 days, reflect, how did these actions shift your perspective? What did you learn about your self-reliance, your connection to the world, and your capacity for growth? This isn't just about understanding Emerson, it's about living Emerson. Translate ancient wisdom into modern strength, ready to face your own strategic landscape, armed with a deeper sense of self and purpose. We've immersed ourselves in Carl von Clausewitz's On War. Though a treatise on military strategy, its rigorous analysis of conflict, human nature, and decision-making offers powerful insights into universal wisdom. Let's distill our discussion into 3 unforgettable takeaways, not direct Clausewitzian maxims, but profound lessons illuminated by his work, guiding us toward a wiser life. First, asterisk, your intuition is your true north. Dusk. Clausewitz vividly describes the fog of war, where perfect information is impossible, yet action is demanded. He speaks of coup d'oeil, military genius, not just intellect, but an informed, inner sensing that grasps complex situations quickly, even amidst profound uncertainty. This intuition, honed by experience, guides decisive action when analysis falters. Just as commanders trust their informed gut in battle, we too navigate life's fogs, cultivate that inner voice through learning and diverse experiences, then learn to trust it. Your intuition, a synthesis of your deepest self, becomes an indispensable compass. Trust yourself, for within you lies a wellspring of authentic insight. Secondly, the universe is within you. Clausewitz meticulously showed war is never isolated. It's deeply interwoven with political, social, and human dynamics. His remarkable Trinity, passion, chance, and policy reveals how external conflict mirrors profound human interconnectedness. The chaos of the battlefield reflects internal human patterns played out on a grand scale. Understanding this universe of interconnected forces, from geopolitics to individual choices, is to realize we are integral to existence's unfolding drama. The patterns of conflict and cooperation in the world echo within ourselves and our relationships. Recognizing this macro-micro reflection fosters empathy and a deeper understanding of our shared humanity. True wisdom emerges from harmonizing with these universal currents, knowing that everything is connected. Finally, life is meant to be lived. Clausewitz, a soldier, new war demands visceral engagement, not just abstract thought. His treatise grapples with action, consequence, and existential choices under duress. True wisdom for him isn't found solely in theory. It is forged in the crucible of reality through leadership, decision, strategy implementation, and enduring friction. Understanding comes from wrestling with actual events, translating theory into practice. Applied to our lives, knowledge is inert without application. True growth and lasting understanding emerge not from contemplating possibilities, but from throwing ourselves into the arena. It's about building, creating, experiencing joy and sorrow, facing challenges, and learning from outcomes. Don't let life be a spectator sport. Engage, participate, create, and through that active engagement, cultivate a wisdom that is robust, resilient, and deeply personal. It is in the living, in the doing, that we truly understand ourselves and the world. These three principles, trusting your intuition, recognizing profound interconnectedness, and embracing life through action, offer a framework for navigating complexity and cultivating profound wisdom. Lessons perhaps unexpected from a treatise on war, yet powerfully illuminated by its stark gaze into the human condition. We've journeyed deep into the intricate landscape of conflict, guided by the profound wisdom of Carl von Clausewitz. From the bewildering fog of war to the inherent friction in every operation and the terrifying dance of absolute war against its real war counterpart, Clausewitz laid bare the enduring truths of armed struggle. But as we dissect the mechanics of strategy and the psychology of command, it's equally vital to reflect on the individual's place within this grand tapestry, the choices we make, the principles we uphold, and the agency we wield, not just on the battlefield, but in the battlefields of our own lives and societies. This is where the spirit of another great thinker, Ralph Waldo Emerson, often finds resonance, offering a complementary lens through which to view the world, whether of conflict or of personal growth. Throughout our discussion, perhaps you found yourself contemplating the power of self-reliance in leadership, the essence of individual conviction amidst chaos, or the perennial human struggle for authenticity in the face of external pressures, ideas that Emerson championed with unparalleled eloquence. Now, I invite you to turn inwards for a moment of reflection, which of Emerson's powerful insights or profound observations truly resonated with you the most, striking a chord with your own understanding of leadership, resilience, or the pursuit of wisdom. Was it his assertion on the infinitude of the private man, his call to trust thyself, or perhaps his profound belief in the power of the individual mind to shape reality? Share your thoughts, your personal takeaways, and the particular Emersonian idea that illuminated a path for you in the comments section below. Your unique perspective enriches this dialogue, transforming a monologue into a vibrant exchange of ideas. If this exploration into Clausewitz, subtly interwoven with philosophical reflections, has added value to your understanding of strategy, human nature, or simply sparked a deeper curiosity, please consider giving this video a like. It helps us understand what content resonates most with you and encourages us to continue these deep dives into timeless wisdom. And if you're eager for more intellectual journeys, for further explorations into foundational texts and the minds that shaped our world, do subscribe to the channel. By joining our community, you ensure you won't miss our upcoming discussions, where we'll continue to unravel complex ideas and extract their enduring lessons for the modern age. For those whose thirst for knowledge remains unquenched, the journey doesn't end here. If the strategic dimensions of war captured your imagination, I highly recommend our previous video exploring Sun Tzu's The Art of War, a fascinating counterpoint to Clausewitz's Western perspective, offering a different yet equally profound philosophy of conflict. Alternatively, for a deeper dive into the philosophical underpinnings of individual agency and purpose, we've curated a reading list accessible via the link in the description, featuring works that expand on themes of self-actualization, critical thinking, and the pursuit of truth. Whether you choose to read, listen, or engage in conversation, continue to question, continue to learn, and continue to grow. Ultimately, the insights gleaned from thinkers like Clausewitz and Emerson aren't just historical curiosities, they are tools for self-discovery and guides for navigating the complexities of our own existence. They remind us that understanding the world is inextricably linked to understanding ourselves. And in this continuous journey of self-creation, we are gifted with the ultimate power of choice. As Emerson himself so powerfully put it, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Thank you for joining us on this intellectual voyage. Until our next deep dive, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep deciding who you are meant to be.